for joining us today for this virtual health and wellness. We're going to focus on heart health. February is Heart Health Month. And I am so excited because I have two great speakers on today. And I just want to thank them ahead of time for taking a few minutes out of their afternoon to join me on this virtual health and wellness for heart health in order to share some of their knowledge, their valuable knowledge with us. So starting, I want to give you a few housekeeping tips. Number one, please mute yourselves. Everybody, I need you to mute yourselves. Please type your first and last name in the chat. Also, if you have questions, please type your questions inside of the chat along with your email. After the webinar is over, we will be answering your questions. Okay, great. So we're going to move right on into our event this afternoon, into our webinar. First of all, I want to start off introducing to you Dr. Logan. Dr. Logan. Dr. Logan has been a doctor for 20 plus years. She specialized in the pediatric community. Dr. Logan and her husband, Darren, they have been married for 14 years now. Today, she will be discussing heart health from the pediatric community. Heart health from the pediatric community. Hi, Dr. Logan.
Hey, how's it going? How are you?
Great.
Welcome. Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're so glad to have you, especially when we start talking about the pediatric community, just thinking, I just have a thought process is back in the day, we got good, healthy food. And now it's such a challenge for these young children, to get, good, healthy food. So I'm going to ask you a few questions and I just want to, you to share your idea, your thought process on some of the questions. So the first one is, what are the high-risk factors for developing heart disease within the pediatric community?
Well, I will say number one is obesity and a poor diet. And then I would say lack of exercise and then low vitamin D. I have been checking vitamin D levels even before the pandemic. I was checking vitamin D levels around 2010, 2012, 2015. And I did that every year on all of my patients. And I would notice that all of the obese individuals always had low vitamin D.
Wow. Wow. That is awesome. Okay. So next I want you, you're addressing, the first thing you said was obesity and diet. Mm-hmm. The number one question I want to ask you is, do you discuss reading food labels with your parents or your children? Because I hear people talk about food labels.
Very rarely, no, because I think that you need to be eating food that is basically from the ground, from all natural. And when you talk about food labels, you're talking about processed food, boxed foods, or frozen foods. And that's what leads to obesity and a poor diet. Those foods lack natural nutrients. They've been frozen out. They've been processed out. And so, no, I never, ever talk to them about, unless they specifically ask a question. I'll say, well, for your snacks, you should not have more than 10 grams per serving of sugar for your snacks. And that includes your beverages. That's the only time I talk about food labels. But no, you shouldn't be eating foods like that anyway. That should not be your primary go-to food at all. Canned foods, things like that. That's for emergencies.
Wow. Yes, that was really major when you talked to me about that in the past, because I can remember Clarence and I in the store looking at organic canned foods, but then we noticed the high sodium per serving in that canned food. So yes, I really appreciate, what you just said about, eating, getting away from the canned foods. Next question I have for you. I want you to go into discussing meal planning because it's tough. It's really tough, especially for young parents, to get good quality food for their kids, eating out or whatever. So talk to us a little bit about how do you go about meal planning? How do you discuss that with your families?
Well, I will tell you, I get that from my mother. Yeah, I tell you, I get that from my mother, and she always told me that it's nothing wrong with cooking a big meal on Sunday or several meals on Sunday that you can eat off of and eat leftovers during the week while you're at work. I know that everybody works full time. People have kids. They're running back and forth. The worst thing you could do is stop at McDonald's on your way home after picking up your kids from aftercare. It's cheaper and it's quicker to have the food warmed up when you get home. So there's nothing wrong with you making a big thing of brown rice, a big pot of beans, wow, dried beans. And then you have your vegetables that you make every day because they're very quick. But those are your staples. And I will tell you that if you look at the healthiest people around the world, those people eat the same types of food all the time.
Wow.
They eat either the purple sweet potatoes or sweet potatoes, root vegetables, or they'll eat rice. I know a lot of people eat white rice. That is a big no-no for me. I'm a brown rice person, and quinoa is good if you can digest it. Millet is pretty good also if you're on a budget. It's very inexpensive and it's very helpful. Millet. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the shopping. How often do you go shopping for your food, Dr. Logan?
Once a week. I go shopping once a week, and that's when I get my organic vegetables and I get my organic fruit. I recommend to all my patients that you need to eat raw fruit every day, and you need to eat at least 2 servings of vegetables every day, and that's for parents and kids. You can do this if you do frozen. I don't recommend canned food, and I know sometimes it's difficult for people to get fresh raw vegetables, but if you have a salad every day, that's very quick to do. You just pull it out those in bags or the bunches, pull it out and put it on their plate, and put a little bit of dressing on the side or on top. Green squash you can eat raw, arugula, raw spinach, those things, and if you 2 big handfuls, that's your 2 servings there. I would not depend on the lunch, your school lunch, or school breakfast to give your child the nutrition that they need. That takes no time to put a big thing of vegetables on their plate. Frozen vegetables, very quick. Frozen broccoli. Costco makes a non-GMO, non-genetically modified organic frozen broccoli. They don't make it, but they have that in their store. It comes in a big package. Very easy to pull out and put in the microwave if that's your thing, or you can put it in a toaster oven.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of making chicken wings on a Sunday and brown rice on Sunday, and putting beans, particularly black beans that are not as starchy but high in protein, woodlawn beans, high in protein, not as starchy, black-eyed peas. I'm a big fan of putting that in a crock pot and eating off of that and giving it to my son and putting it in a glass container and putting it in a toaster oven or a microwave and saying it'll be ready in 5-10 minutes. It's so much quicker. It's more economical than going to McDonald's, and it's healthier.
Wow. That is, man, that's some good information right there. Okay. Tell me a little bit about this. Guys, I just want to let you guys know that what Dr. Logan is saying, she actually does it, because I was so caught off guard when she told me she does not, when her son has to go to school, she packs his food. And she tell the teachers or whoever that she want her child to only eat from what she brings, sends to school with him, little Nathan. So next, I want you to talk about plant-based diet. Give us a little snippet about plant-based diet, Dr. Logan.
I like to say primarily plant-based diet, because I know some people have to have meat, and there's nothing wrong with that. But obesity at 20 months, I'll give that number. At 20 months, those healthy habits have been signified. Those are permanently signified in your child's mind. 20 months. So you have until 20 months of age to let them know that they have to eat fruits and vegetables every day, 7 days a week, no exceptions. And you cannot give them sugar. They cannot get addicted to sugar. Kids will get addicted to sugar by 20 months if you give that to them. I always tell parents, please don't give your child juice. Please give them mostly water. I put my son's food in a glass container. I heat it up in the morning, put it in a glass container, and I put it in a cloth in his lunch bag. And it's safe. He's a little guy, so that's safe. He doesn't break it, he doesn't do anything. I don't believe in microwaves. I don't want them to heat his food up for me. Just let him eat it. And that is the best way. It gets all the nutrition.
Wow, that is good. Again, I want to remind everybody to put your phones or devices on mute. Please mute your phone and devices, and make sure you put your questions within the chat.
So
okay,
I'm going to say a primary plant-based diet. That way, you don't have to worry about bad fats. Plants have good fats, good fat oils. There's nothing wrong with giving your child almond milk at 12 months instead of whole milk. Okay, I did that with my son. I gave him almond milk. I made sure it was fortified with vitamin D and calcium, and I added olive oil. I sprinkled a teaspoonful of olive oil on his brown rice to give him the extra plant-based fat that he needed for brain growth and development. Avocado oil is also good. I prefer avocado oil over olive oil. And you just put it right in his rice, right in his oatmeal, right in his yellow grits, if you like, if you want him to get more fat. But and even I guess his name's Jose Saavedra. He was the medical director for Nestle at one time, and he recommended that. I was shocked when he recommended that. He said, "You do not have to give your child cow's milk. Plant-based diet is okay, and you can eat whatever meat you want, but you have to make sure that it's a good quality meat." I'm a fan of grass-fed beef. I'm a fan of eating non-genetically modified, organically, responsibly raised chicken. So I will not give my child cutlets. I won't even eat cutlets because I want to see what that bone looks like. So I'm a big chicken wing fan.
Wow.
A buffalo wing fan. And I make them myself. I put seasoning on them. I make them myself. I don't put breaded. I don't do fried. I don't give him anything breaded. The only thing I give to my son that's breaded are mushrooms. Chicken. They're called Kiorn nuggets. He thinks they're chicken nuggets, but they're actually nuggets made from mushrooms. High protein and very healthy. I don't give him fish sticks. I give him fish, but I give him salmon. I give him flounder. I give him cod. Salmon, I give him barramundi. I do not give my child tilapia. All my seafood it says responsibly farm raised or it's wild caught. And you can get those anywhere and you can catch them on sale.
Wow, that is good. Great information. So the next, when we're looking at the risk factor, the last one is lack of exercise. You talk about a lot of the children are lacking exercise. Could you give us some tips on getting the family involved in exercise, Dr. Logan?
I would say that it does start early. And I always tell parents that old people walk. Okay. So if you want to walk with your child, that's fine, but they should do at least 100 jumping jacks and maybe 50 crunches before they walk to get their heart rate up. Or they can run up the block and run back to you to get their heart rate up and then walk. Those things, they need to do it like 15-minute intervals. That way they are actually burning their fat, burning their calories while they're walking. And I always tell parents, you have to modeling behavior is the best. There is nothing worse than you eating a sandwich and watching your child work out. They're like, this is not happening. And that's why a lot of times as teenagers, they give up. They're like, you're not even participating in this. You have to actively participate by eating fruits and veggies yourself and exercising. I like the Nike training app. It's a free app that you can go on and they can do things in the house. They have yoga. They have a lot of exercise where you don't do a lot of jumping. If you live in an apartment or anything like that, it's perfect. The Nike training app, perfect.
Wow. Did I tell you you're giving some great information. The Nike training app. I had never heard of that. you already talked about the low vitamin D level and everything. So next thing I want to ask you is, what supplements do you recommend for your children? And I'm going to go right into the screen share because you talked to me about some of the supplements that you actually recommend.
Well,
And go ahead.
I like Rainbow Light Kids 1 as a multivitamin because it has iron in it and it has spirulina. I am a big fan of Rainbow Light Kids 1. You can buy it at the Vitamin Shop, Amazon.com. Mom's Organic Market used to sell it. They do not sell it anymore. Whole Foods. You can give that to down to 2 years of age if you like, and you can give them a half, even younger than 2 years of age, you can give them half of a star. It tastes great. My son eats it. I also believe in magnesium and calcium. You need that to prevent the brain fog that a lot of these kids are having. I recommend omega-3, DHA. I'm a big fan of that. Again, that prevents the brain fog that some of these kids are having with the hyperactivity and poor concentration. A lot of that can be attributed to their diet. If they're eating or drinking a lot of dairy products, they need magnesium also. And you can Google foods that are rich in magnesium. It's found avocados, pumpkin seeds. There's so many foods, certain yogurts. I'm a big fan of that. Almond milk, a lot of water, water. I'm not a big fan of saying you need to drink 64 ounces of fluids every day. Well, they'll interpret that as, okay, I can have 64 ounces of juice and a drink. No, that's why I always tell them you could have 64 ounces of water plus other fluids if you are a beverage type of person.
Wow.
Yes. So omega-3 fish oil, good for brain development. They're giving it to little ones down to infants. There's Nordic Naturals is a good product that they give. It comes in infant drops. Again, that's for brain development and to boost their immune system. Yeah, I actually give my son this product, omega-3 fish oil, periodically. He loves it. I don't have to con him into drinking this. It doesn't have a fishy taste, and it does have a pretty good flavor.
Yes, this particular one is delicious. My daughter has to hide it from my 3 grandchildren. They think it's really, really good, and and you pretty much recommended that, Dr. Logan, the fish oil for the younger children and making them, develop their brain and everything. And for adults who cannot take the big, huge fish tablet or pill, it's pretty big when you buy a fish oil. Adults could take the DNA Miracle omega-3, which they can drink, but you have to take a little bit more than a child. Okay. And then the next thing you had discussed that you like, Dr. Logan, is OPC3. We talked about that in adults, but let's look at it in the children.
It's a powerful anti-inflammatory. If you have a child who just refuses to eat his fruits and vegetables, he's going to need his vitamins, and he can have a multivitamin plus this OPC3 chew. He needs it, especially during a pandemic. You want something that boosts their immune system. This is a really good immune booster. I would definitely recommend this. And it tastes pretty good. They taste pretty good.
Okay. And it has something pretty powerful in it. I'm showing up on the screen right now, Dr. Logan.
Pycnogenol. Yep. Very powerful.
And some of the things that it helps with.
Yes, it does. Yes, powerful antioxidant. Yep. I'm being distracted. I'm sorry. Good with brain health, everything. Again, as far as this correlates with adults, helps with your circulation, reduces your cholesterol levels naturally. So all those things help.
Oh, okay. And then last, I'm going to talk about the CD chew. Okay, so you talked about how most of your children, your young kids come in with a very low vitamin D level. So this is one that you highly recommend as well, the vitamin C and B3 chews. And the benefit of the C is provide antioxidants, supports optimal immune function. The vitamin D supports healthy growth and development and healthy teeth and gum. And together, the C and D chews together is one of the greatest supplementation that you can give to your child, especially at this time. It also supports growth and strong teeth and bones. So anyway, those are some of the supplements that Dr. Logan usually, recommend, for the young ones. So I'm going to stop here. And Dr. Logan, thank you. Anything else you want to say, Dr. Logan?
I want to say one plug about Animal Parade. I'm a big fan of the calcium.
Okay.
Calcium juice. If your child is lactose intolerant or they're not a big cheese person, which I'm not, I think cheese is too salty and bread is too salty. So I never recommend it before age 2 years. I recommend Animal Parade calcium chews. That's just, I think it's a very good product. I do also give that to my son twice a day. Calcium needs to be given twice a day also. So I just want to put that plug in. I think that calcium chews are very good for bone health and for focusing. Calcium is a very good cofactor. It's used in a lot of enzymatic reactions. You definitely need calcium and you need your magnesium.
Great. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Logan, for all that wealth of knowledge and information you just shared with us, because we want our children to develop good, strong, healthy hearts as they go ahead and mature into adults. So next, everyone, I have the next speaker that's coming up. Her name is Mrs. Melinda Tucson. Mrs. Melinda Tucson is a licensed family nurse practitioner. This young lady she's an owner of Care Wellness in Bowie, Maryland. She specializes in holistic medicine. She's prime military. She has a wealth of knowledge as well. And I am so honored and excited to have Mrs. Tucson join us. And she's going to talk about heart health from an adult perspective. Mrs. Tucson?
Thank you for having me, Miss Terry.
Great. Thank you for being on. So let me start off asking you the question, what is heart disease? Basically, what is it?
Well, heart disease is really, the root cause of it is inflammation. All health issues root cause is underlying inflammation. So it's inflammation of the muscles in the heart, the arteries, blood vessels, and so much more. Heart disease is a cycle of a lot of different heart issues that people may have as a chronic disease.
Great. Wonderful. So, a lot of us, when we go into the doctor's office or whatever, they talk about blood pressure. They take out blood pressure. What is the normal for blood pressure? Just what's the normal?
Well, really, so blood pressure has 2 numbers. The top number is the systolic blood pressure, and the bottom number is the diastolic blood pressure. And to give a little more details on that, the systolic blood pressure is the pressure of the heart when the heart is contracting. So regular heartbeat is, people might hear like ba-bump, ba-bump. So the heart is compressing. So that pressure is the systolic. And then when the heart relaxes as a second beat, that is the pressure of the heart vessels when it's relaxing. So that is why the systolic number is typically higher than the diastolic number. So it's very important to know your numbers. And typically you want optimally, you want your blood pressure reading to be 120 over 80 or lower. And then when people's heart rates are in the 130s to like around 85, we consider that as a pre-hypertensive state. But when people get a consistent reading, and when I say consistent, it means on 3 or more occasions that you're getting high readings of 140 over 90 or higher. And blood pressure reading, you have to also note that if either one of the numbers are in the higher range, is still considered hypertension, or you have high blood pressure. For instance, let's say if the top number, the systolic blood pressure, might be in normal range, but the bottom number, the diastolic is higher, is 90 or higher, that is still considered high blood pressure or hypertension. So it's quite important to know your numbers, and whenever, if you have a blood pressure monitor at home, please check it daily or at least weekly. Daily, if you are on borderline, have a borderline high number, or consistently have a high number, it has to be done daily. But if it has been in normal range, you could just monitor it weekly or monthly or whenever you go to your doctor's appointment.
Awesome. Wow, that's really good. So, some people walk around, with high blood pressure. Are there any signs, or how do you know when your pressure is high? If you're just kind of walking around.
Mhm. Well, blood pressure is known as the silent killer. So a lot of time people don't typically notice that they are walking around with a high blood pressure, but sometimes people might feel a headache. They might feel a bit dizzy or have blurry vision. And with their headache, it might be like on the back of their head, the occipital region of your head when people have headaches. So different types of headaches mean different things
Okay.
in correlation of process that's going on. If it's over here, it's usually like tension, but back here, sometimes that is an indicator of high blood pressure. So it's very important to check your reading because you don't want to be at risk of heart disease, stroke, or any other heart issues that comes from having a high blood pressure reading.
Yes. And
Blood pressure reading.
yeah, absolutely. And I can kind of talk about it within our house. It also can lead to kidney disease as well, because my
Absolutely.
spouse had high blood pressure that led to kidney disease. So, Mrs. Tucson, what factors can lead to high blood pressure? Could you give me some factors? Share with us factors.
Certainly. So obesity, as Dr. Logan mentioned earlier, is a factor. Also, lack of exercise. Your diet is a main factor because whatever you put in your body, and I say this often, it's either providing you the nutrients it needs so your body can self-heal and become so your body could self-heal, and or the foods that you're putting in is a slow dose of poison. So you always want to have the most freshest organic fruits, vegetables, herbs, and more. But I do understand, depending on where you are in your lifestyle and your finances, you may not have those options. So whenever you are picking out your food choices, choose the best option that fits your budget and your current lifestyle. So if you can't get fresh fruits or vegetables, get the organic, fresh frozen vegetables. That's the next step of good quality foods. And if you can't do that and you do have to rely on canned foods, depending on your situation, because especially now with people with the pandemic and their lack of funds and resources, they have to go to prepackaged meal. So always do read your label, read the sodium content, the cholesterol, the saturated, unsaturated fats, the sugars, and all of that, and understand it. If there are a lot of words on the label that you can't particularly understand, just know you probably shouldn't be eating that type of food because it has a lot of chemicals that could affect how your body is going to process it. So, like I said, always choose the best option, the optimal option for you and your family to prevent a lot of chronic health issues that could occur.
Awesome. That, I tell you, that is awesome. I was taking my own notes as you were speaking here. So, next, when is it necessary to take medication? How do you feel about medicating yourself for high blood pressure?
Well, I always believe if you can, which you can, prevent health issues naturally by taking first based off of your diet. And if you're not having a good diet, supplement it naturally with, well, particularly for blood pressure, having omega-3 fish oil is very good. Coenzyme or CoQ10 is very good. Magnesium, calcium, B complex, and so many different other types of vitamins and minerals and herbs that particularly help your heart. Do that first, because really it is all about what you eat. Well, let me go back. It's 70%, health is 70% about what you eat and 30% of activity. So what the food choices you make are affecting your health and causing these chronic health issues. However, depending on how your access to healthcare and all of that and your finances, sometimes people do have to be on medication. So if you're having like uncontrollable high blood pressure over a long period of time, and you have done those measures of eating, trying to eat properly and so forth, then, you know, start on a low, whatever your doctor prescribed, do a low dose, but also continue to modify your diet, exercise, use supplements, herbs, and different other lifestyle modification. Reduce stress is another thing, because you might be eating well, but if you are stressed, that does affect your blood pressure. If you're anxious or if you're in pain, those are other things that contemporarily or over time cause you to have a higher blood pressure reading.
Absolutely. First, I remember, thinking about something that I was pretty stressed over when I went to get my physical. The doctor initially checked my blood pressure, but then she thought about it and said, hey, let's not start you on medication right away, because you do have some doctors, once you walk into that office, they, get your blood pressure and they see it's high, they want to put you on right away. But you have to be an advocate and, just communicate with your doctors and, and try to find another solution. Another thing that I know.
Add, Miss Terry.
Uh-huh.
Yes, because you always first want to educate yourself. Yes, as medical providers, we do have our utmost intention to help you, but sometimes medical providers are people, and they have their own different philosophy, either doing the natural way first or just going straight to medication. But do always know that medication is a chemical, and as you're putting that those chemicals into your body, it's also going to have long-term effects on your health. And Ms. Terry, thank you for putting that chart up. That is one of my favorite charts of showing how prescription medication depletes your nutrients or gobbles up the vitamins. So as you can see on this screen, if you could stay right on blood pressure lowering medication, maybe one or more of you are taking one of these medications. So a common one, a Presaline and Lasix, which is a diuretic, and other type of medications that you see under blood pressure. As you are taking those medications, because it's a chemical and your body doesn't readily know or absorb chemicals, it needs to pull a natural vitamin or mineral from your body in order for your body to process it. So as it's pulling it, it's depleting those nutrients. So you take a blood pressure medication, as you see on the chart, and it's going to pull some of your B vitamins, your coenzyme 10 or CoQ10, which I stated earlier is essential for heart health. Also vitamin C, which is also essential for immune system and also to activate iron in your body. You do need vitamin C. Magnesium, another nutrient that you need for your blood vessels to help relax the muscles. And Dr. Logan went on and saying how it's essential not only in the pediatric population, but even in the adult population. You need magnesium and calcium, also potassium, zinc. Those are all different nutrients that your body needs to help process, excuse me, I'm stumbling over my words right now. But anyway, to help
Good.
function at its most optimum level. So it's, a lot of times when people start on one medication, and because when you're taking medication is depleting those nutrients, you're going to have signs and symptoms of different nutrient deficiency. So you go back to your doctor, you've been on this medication saying, oh, now I'm experiencing this and that issue. And instead of going back to the root cause of providing you with the natural supplementation to help fix that issue, they're going to treat you based off of the symptoms that you presented, which a lot of time is to be put on another chemical or another pharmaceutical medication. And then it's like a crazy cycle. You start off with one medication, then you have different side effects or signs of nutrient deficiency, then you're on another, and then you also have other symptoms from other nutrient deficiencies, and you just keep going on and on. I don't know how many of you just started off with one medication and now probably taken 5 or 10 or even 20 or more medications at a time or per day.
Man, that is amazing. I know that, my husband and I, holistic nurse practitioner, which we just feel, that you are absolutely amazing. And I love the fact that, this chart means so much to you, because when a customer present themselves to you, a patient present themselves to you, the first thing you want to find out why they're not feeling good is, hey, let's see what's going on. What's the medication? Let's get to the root cause. And that's what I truly, truly love about it. Hey, y'all, I just want to let you know she is an awesome holistic nurse practitioner. So my next question is, how does high cholesterol impact your blood pressure?
Well, high cholesterol, a lot of times people know if their cholesterol is high is by taking a simple blood test when they go to their doctor or get a physical. And typically with cholesterol, there's 4 readings to pay attention to. The HDLs, which is the good cholesterol, and just remember the HDLs, you want it to be high. Then the LDLs, which I call the lousy cholesterol that you want to be low. Also triglyceride and total cholesterol. So those 4 readings determine if you have high cholesterol. The HDL is great. It's increased, which is the good cholesterol, by the healthy fats, as like Dr. Logan said, like from avocado oil, or even eating avocado or getting the good fats naturally from your vegetables, because vegetables naturally have fats in it and it's very easily digestible. But when people are eating processed foods, getting non-organic meats, getting farm-raised seafood, and other unnaturally or genetically modified food products, because it's really not food, they're made in a laboratory and cultivated, those byproducts causes cholesterol deposits or plaques on the lining of your arterial walls or blood vessels. And I like using the example of water hose. So people have water hose, you connect it to the faucet, a water source. And when the water hose is like straight, no matter how much pressure or you turn up the water, it just flows directly, throughout the hose. So think about it. If you have a kink in the hose and you turn up the water, what will happen in the hose? It gets a little bubble, because all of that pressure is pushing on that one particular spot. And then as a lot of pressure is going through that hose, what eventually happens? It could burst, right? So that is what's going on in our body. So our blood vessel, think about it as a water hose.
Wow.
Even though there's high pressure or high water circulating through your system, it may not cause that much of an issue. But if you have cholesterol deposits or, plaques on the arterial walls, think about it as, a kink. And if you're putting a lot of pressure, so the weakest part of that might could burst. So that is a heart attack. That is a stroke. That is an aneurysm or any of that. So that's why it's important to have your blood pressure at a normal reading, because you never know what is that number or how much pressure it is to have a heart attack or to have a stroke or to have an aneurysm or any of that, because your body is only as good as you treat it. You just want to make sure that you're putting the right things in your body so it could treat you well and for you to live a long quality life without aches and pains and other chronic health issues. So be good to your body and your body will be good to you.
Wow. I tell you, that was amazing. Oh, absolutely amazing. So the next question I'm going to ask you is, what supplements do you recommend to prevent heart disease, and why? Why do you even recommend supplements?
Supplements are really important because if you're not getting your nutrients from the natural fruits, vegetables, herbs, and things that naturally grows from the earth, then you have to supplement it daily. Um, so with supplementation, if you are eating very well, then you need less supplementation. If you're not eating well, you need more supplementation. It's all a balancing act. So you want to keep the scales balanced, that you are ingesting good nutrients. And if you're not, you also supplement it so the balance is equal. So one of my favorite supplements, and Dr. Glass also went over, is OPC3. I love it. I feel like everyone, all ages, should be on it because it has a pink nodule, which is pine bark extract, which is the key ingredient in that product to really help your heart, really help your blood per se, to help cleanse it. It also have red wine extract. So some of you may know or may consume red wine on a regular basis because you have learned that red wine medicinally have great properties to help with your heart. But if you don't want to get a little tipsy or consume red wine, it is also an OPC3. It also has grapeseed extract. Grapeseed has great nutrients in it, and never be afraid to consume seeds, because think about seeds produce life. It produces the tree that, or the bush, or the fruit or vegetable, and all to make it. So seeds are great. So what has the grapeseed extract, bilberry extract, and so much more. But what is so great about OPC3, that it's an anti-inflammatory, it's a great antioxidant. It also helps stabilize your blood pressure, and not only your blood pressure, also cholesterol and also blood sugar. It helps improve the circulation of the blood in your heart. So sometimes you might have different circulation problem throughout your body. And a lot of time people know through like swelling. So sometimes you might look at your legs and your feet. So that's a circulation issue. So it is helping to correct that or improve it, and also improve the blood vessel dilation so that the blood is flowing throughout your body. And you also want to make sure that you are providing great antioxidants to your body to help remove those toxins. So antioxidant is antitoxin. So we are consuming, breathing toxins every day. So we need a way to remove it from your body. So having antioxidants is another way of removing toxins through your body, along with other natural ways to do so. Mhm. Miss Terry, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, hello.
I do recommend everyone to have OPC3. OPC3, as you can see in this picture here, that's a 90 serving one. So that will last, if you're, one thing about OPC3, in this product, one capful is, or one serving is good for every 50 pounds of weight that you are. So for those who are 150 pounds or less, they only need to do one capful of OPC3 a day. And if you're over 150 pounds, you will need to consume an additional capful per day. So if you're going to take this every single day, I always recommend to have you the 90 serving one because it lasts longer. But if you are over 150 pounds, you're going to go through it a bit faster. So the 90 serving one will probably last like a month and a half instead of the full 90 days. And for children, or for those who might not want to drink down their supplements, OPC3 also has a chew. So the chew tastes like a strawberry starburst. So people feel like it's their treat or like candy to have something, a sweet treat. But the great thing about it is that it only has 4 grams of sugar. Um, 4 grams of sugar. If you could eat one grape, that's mean you could definitely consume OPC3. So those who are diabetics or have blood sugar issues, it does not directly affect your blood sugar reading of increasing it. It actually helps stabilize your blood sugar.
Okay. Ms. Tucson, I had a little technical difficulties. Did I miss one of your flyers that you wanted to talk about? CoQ10, did you get to see that?
I did not get to see CoQ10, but CoQ10 is another one. So for those who want to be as prevention, take CoQ10 to help prevent heart issues. So some of you might have a family history of people in your family that has not only high blood pressure, but other heart disease. So you could take CoQ10 as a prevention. But for those who are on blood pressure medication or any of those medications that you previously saw on the chart that has that depletes CoQ10, then you will want to use that as a daily supplement. So as you can see, CoQ10 promotes overall cardiovascular health. It's also an antioxidant. So that is another supplement that helps remove toxins from your body. It also helps with cholesterol. Remember how I gave that example of the water hose and the kink in it? So you want to keep the cholesterol levels down. And it also helps promote head comfort by way of good circulation, and so much more. It really helps with your immune system, which is vital during this time. But every time you always want to boost your immune system. So CoQ10 is another supplement that I love. And for those who have more complex heart issues or heart disease or uncontrollable high blood pressure, I love the heart health system. So the heart health system, if you're gonna put that up, thank you, Miss Terry. That it is a system that has different supplements in it together that overall helps address your entire heart. So it has the fish oil and vitamin E. It also helps improve your overall cardiovascular health. It has triactive, which helps maintain a strong heart muscle, and also helps stabilize your blood pressure level. It's an antioxidant. It addresses all four of cholesterol issues, raising your HDLs, lowering your LDLs, lowering your triglyceride level, as well as lowering your overall total cholesterol.
Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Great. This is great. Um, all right. Mrs. Tucson, is there anything else you would like to say as we sum up everything?
I just like to invite all of you who have joined us and spend time on learning on this Saturday, that if you do have any further questions, feel free to reach out to either Dr. Glass or myself. Dr. Glass is a pediatrician. So for those who might have children at home, and really with pediatric is anyone 21 or younger, could definitely go see Dr. Glass.
Logan.
Excuse me. Dr. Glass is her maiden name. Dr. Logan.
It's okay.
Dr. Logan, to help treat your family. And then for those who do have questions about holistic health or overall health and wellness, I'm also happy to answer your questions or schedule an appointment with either one of us.
Yes, absolutely. Again, this pretty much ends this webinar. Like I said, if you have questions, please put your questions into the chat. Put your name and your email so we can answer your questions. Thank you so much, Dr. Logan and Mrs. Melinda Tucson, for being on again. If you need a holistic nurse practitioner, Mrs. Tucson is the one, and she has a practice located in Bowie, Maryland. It is called Mary Care Wellness. Please type in the chat if you want more information on Mrs. Tucson, and also Dr. Logan is amazing. So if you need information from Dr. Logan, please type into the chat and we will respond to your questions. Again, thank you for joining us, and you guys have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.